And good evening, everybody. And I am Joey back here once again for game one of a new breakdown series here. I'm going to be breaking down the 2025 season for the Salem Red Sox, as I mentioned in the last video. I think this is a good idea to do. To take a look at some of the younger players of the Red Sox and what will be potentially our future when it comes to the Boston Red Sox when some of them maybe come up from Salem in the years to come. So I wanted to take a look at Salem and break down their season. And we're going to do that starting with game numero uno, number one, I believe, of 132 games that they're going to have this season. I'm not 100% sure as to the total of games that they are going to have this year. I think it's in the 130s for sure, as I heard on the broadcast. By the way, I was able to listen to the Salem Red Sox game on their website, the Salem Red Sox website, the radio stream there via the Salem Red Sox website. So that's great. They'll be doing that for home games, and any away games, I'll probably go to the other team's website and try to listen to it that way if that's an option, or find a radio station that'll have the game. But I will try to listen to as many Salem Red Sox games this year as I possibly can. But I will be breaking down every single game nonetheless. So I think this is a great idea to do. Again, just take a look at some of the younger players who could be the Boston Red Sox future in the coming years. I think that would be very interesting because I think the Red Sox have one of the most interesting farm systems in the MLB. And I think someone out there, some publication out there, ranked them number one as well, and that's pretty strong statement there to rank a farm system number one. That's it's going to be a pretty strong statement that farm system is making, and I think the Red Sox are doing that. They're making a strong statement by the players that they have. The players that they have on their roster. Anyway, let's start with game numero uno, number one, here. And this is the home opener and also the season opener against the Delmarva Shorebirds. The Red Sox. They were at home in Salem, Virginia, for this game. They had zero issues with this one. Zero issues with this game. It was a complete blowout. The Salem Red Sox defeated the Delmarva Shorebirds 12-1. Delmarva looked lost. Their pitching was absolutely atrocious. Their batters were atrocious. And everything about the Shorebirds, at least in this game, was atrocious, and it was a very hard game to get through by the later innings because I knew the game was over. But I wanted to see if they would at least get a run or two in there at the end, and they did end up getting one run at the very end of the ninth inning there. They ended up getting one run, but really not competitive at all. The Delmarva Shorebirds, at least in this game, not good at all. They must have had a lot of cobwebs, I guess, that they were dealing with in this game that they had to shake off. Maybe the rest of the series will be competitive, but we'll see. But this one was not. The pitching for the Red Sox was just lights out. It was on fire. Only 4 hits for the Delmarva Shorebirds. So not a great performance for them at all. But the Red Sox dominated. We're going to break down what their stats were. But let's start off with the losers of the game, and that was the Delmarva Shorebirds and what their lineup did. By the way, the Delmarva Shorebirds are the single A affiliate of the Baltimore Orioles. So there you go. So let's start with Fernando Peguero. His first game of the year resulted in 4 at bats and nothing else on the scoreboard. Scoreboard. There we go. So nothing for him at all. Not good. We move on to the next player, Miguel Rodriguez. His game was the same, 4 at bats and nothing. So we move on. Then we have Braylon Tavera. He was the first batter to get something going, at least for the team. He had 4 at bats, a run, and a hit, so not too bad when it comes to what he was able to do for a team that didn't look like they wanted to even be there. Apparently, it was just not a great game for Delmarva. Raylan Ramirez. 4 at bats with 2 hits and an RBI. Probably the player of the game for the Delmarva Shorebirds there. Probably the player of the game. He got the 1 RBI for the team. And then you had Alfredo Velasquez. 4 at bats, nothing. And then you had Malcol Hernandez. 3 at bats and nothing on the scoreboard for him. Then you had Kevin Guerrero, 2 at bats with a hit and a stolen base. So that's pretty good for him. A lot of these players, by the way, they're from the Dominican Republic. I believe there is a player that was mentioned that he was from Venezuela as well. So a lot of these players are from the Dominican Republic as well, and are coming up from the Florida, the Florida League there, which I'm not going to cover this year. I consider Single A the bottom of the totem pole for the MILB there. But anyway, moving on. Yasmail Brucey, he had 2 at bats and nothing on the scoreboard for him. Then we had Adrili Campos. Yeah, there we go. 3 at bats, nothing on the scoreboard there. And now we move on to the Salem Red Sox. And boy, we're going to have fun with this because there was a lot of stats to get through here. And we're going to start with Franklin Arias. 5 at bats with 3 runs and 3 hits. He did extremely well in this game. So that was something that he was able to do very well, is get runs in, get himself on the home plate there, and get runs in for the Salem Red Sox. Then you had Yolene Cespedes, 4 at bats with a run. So quiet for him, but he also did quite a bit. Antonio Anderson, 3 at bats with 2 runs, 2 hits, and 2 RBIs. So very good night for him. Andrew Musset, 5 at bats with a run and 2 hits. Then you had Ferrelli and Carnacion, 5 at bats, 2 runs, 3 hits, a home run, and 5 RBIs. He had a grand slam in this game. He is definitely someone to look at, I think, this season. And Carcion, I think he's going to be very good this year. He's from the Dominican Republic. He's going to be very, very good, I think, this year for the Salem Red Sox. I think he might even get called up at certain points during the year. Not to Boston, but maybe to Portland at times, and maybe even Worcester at times. If he keeps stat sheets up like this, I think you're going to see him outside of Salem going forward. So we move on to the next player on the list here, Frederick Jimenez. 5 at-bats with a hit, so kind of a quiet night there. Then we had Starlin Nunez with 3 at-bats and a run. He contributed. Very little, but he contributed. Naniel Utan with 2 at-bats and a run and an RBI. So he had a pretty good evening. Kelvin Diaz, 4 at-bats, a run, a hit, and a home run with 4 RBIs. He did well. He did well there. So that was what happened there. Someone had a grand slam. I don't know if it was him or if it was the Carcion there. It may have been Diaz. It was either one had a grand slam. Because there was a grand slam that was hit for the Salem Red Sox in this game. So I might be wrong saying Encarnacion had the grand slam. But anyway, that is your lineup for both teams and what they did. Now let's talk a little bit about the pitching. You have Chase Alsop for the Delmarva Shorebirds. He did atrociously. 4 strikeouts, 4.15 ERA. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely horrible in this one. I mean, there wasn't really much that he could do. And the team that he was facing, the Salem Red Sox, were just on fire. He gave up 5 hits and 3 runs and 2 earned runs. So not a good start for him, Chase Alsop. Then, after that, you had Yair Kataria. And boy, was he bad. He may have been the worst for this team. He coming out of this game has a 31.50 ERA. That is terrible. You rarely see an ERA of 31.50. That is really, really bad. So 2 innings pitched. That's it. He didn't do much at all. But he was in there for 2 innings. He gave up 3 hits, 7 runs, and 7 earned runs. Horrible. Very, very bad. He was able to strike out too, but again, not a good performance for him. We move on to the next pitcher, and the last pitcher here we're going to talk about for the Delmarva Shorebirds, Joe Classy. Did, not great for the team. He was a 10.80 ERA coming out of that game. 1.2 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, and 2 home runs. So not great there. No strikeouts in this one. So pretty bad performance there. Now, for the Salem Red Sox, the only thing that I would say that they probably made the mistake in this game, this game was pretty much flawless. The only thing I would say mistake-wise that they probably did was keep Blake Atia from pitching more. I think he pitched 5 innings. Yep, he pitched 5 innings. I would have loved to see him pitch 7 or 8 innings. I mean, he was just on fire. He dominated. 4 strikeouts, 5 innings pitched. He dominated. Didn't give up anything. He didn't give up any hits, runs, or earned runs, or home runs. He gave up nothing. He was perfect. And I would have loved to see him maybe pitch 7 or 8 innings. But they took him out a little early. Whatever. I think that was a mistake. I think they should have kept him in a couple of more innings. I think he would have been fine pitching a couple of more innings. But 4 strikeouts, very good performance for him in those 5 innings. And I'd love to see more of this guy going forward. So I'm glad I am doing this breakdown of the Salem Red Sox because I get to see more of this guy and get to see more of some of these other players that really impressed me this evening. Then we had Joe Voyosky. Voyosky. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I apologize if I'm not. He's the home state kid from Virginia. And he did well as well. He had 3 innings pitched in this one. Gave up 2 hits and struck out 6. So he did very well. And then we had Nathan Cruz to finish the game. And what he did was struggle a little bit. He struggled. He gave up a run, I believe. He gave up the only run that... Yes, he gave up the only run that the Delmarva Shorebirds had. He had 1 inning pitched, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run. Didn't strike out anybody, so he struggled a little bit as the closer. I would have loved to see him do a little bit better than what he did. But, I mean, it didn't matter at that point as to, what he did. Because the game was over by the time he came in. And but again, I mean, going forward, definitely needs to do a little bit better than what he did tonight. He got lucky when it comes to, having the 12-0, 12-1, 12-0, or whatever it was at that time. That he came in cushion, but what if, he came in and didn't have that cushion? So that's what I think the team was looking at. Like, the team wants him to do better in this kind of situations, because he kind of struggled in this situation here. So, I mean, we'll see what happens going forward with him. I think he did, again, good enough. But obviously, I think the team would want him to do much better going forward, especially in situations where it's going to be closer games. He got lucky with this game because it wasn't close at all. This was not competitive from the word go. But you're not always going to have that. You're going to have games where very close, it's tied going into the 9th inning, or you're up only by a run going into the 9th inning, and you have to protect that lead. So I think that's what the Salem Red Sox are trying to look for, is a good closer for their team. So that is pretty much the stats. That's the breakdown. Game number 2 of this series with the Delmarva Shorebirds. That will be tomorrow, same time, 6:35 p.m. start. So tomorrow night, I will do another. Game breakdown. I hope everyone enjoyed this game breakdown, and I'll be back again tomorrow night to do game number 2, and also I'll be continuing the Red Sox breakdown, the Boston Red Sox breakdown as well going forward. But anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed this evening's Salem Red Sox breakdown, and I'll be back tomorrow for game number 2. Bye-bye, everybody.